What's going on, guys? Mickle here, and in this video I am showing you a document from the Ripple SEC case that I have not seen a single person talking about. This document directly lays out a meeting between Ripple and the SEC to discuss a settlement. You guys need to see this because I think this can give us a great idea of when we can expect this case to end. Guys, not only am I going to get into that, but I'm also going to get into exactly why the SEC is going to be forced to settle this case, and they are stuck in a web of lies they will not be able to get out of. Guys, if you are new to this channel or come here all the time, make sure you like and subscribe, and let's jump right into it. Alrighty guys, before we jump into the document, I had to show you this because this isn't something I talk about on my channel too often. I wanted to get my opinion out here, and I thought this tweet really sums it up perfectly. This is a tweet from Andrew Zell, and he says, unpopular opinion, this time is already different, and he's talking about the Bitcoin market cycles. If we take a look right here, we see over the past decade, Bitcoin has been in three very distinctly different market cycles. I see so many people all over Twitter, all over YouTube, trying to analyze these cycles and saying, oh, because this happened in 2013, or oh, because this happened in 2017, this has to be what happens in 2022. I want to tell you guys that these markets are fundamentally different today than they ever have been. We hear the governments talking about crypto, we see companies putting crypto on the balance sheets, we see widespread adoption and utility in the crypto sphere, and we see that crypto is going to be a fundamental part of a future financial system built into the internet. Every single year, the cryptocurrency landscape changes dramatically, and as these fundamentals increase, the potential value of the technology increases as well. That is why I do not think you can look at charts from decades ago and say, because this is what happened this time, this is what will happen the next time. This is something I really just want to point out because I think a lot of people try to analyze these market cycles because they've been in bear markets before where the price has trended down for a long time, and I think it makes them comfortable to try to predict what's going to happen with the price on these longer time frames so they don't have to worry about holding their assets through a period like that ever again. I just want to point out that back when the tech bubble happened back in the 2000s, a lot of assets like Amazon crashed over 90% from their all-time highs. When Amazon eventually made it to new all-time highs and came out of that bear market, a lot of people likely overanalyzed the charts and thought Amazon was going to do something very similar and play out in the cycles that it had played out before. Yet, once Amazon got mainstream utility, it went on a parabolic run that never stopped. I think that is something that's going to happen in the crypto markets, and it's because stuff like this is happening. Right here, we have proof that XRP was part of Project Jura, which was a wholesale CBDC trial between France and Switzerland. These are governments adopting cryptocurrencies like XRP for their intended use. They are using them to move value all over the world for fractions of a penny and instantaneously. This is game-changing technology that we do not have in the world right now, and is going to cause these crypto assets that have utility to go into bull markets that last decades. They will not just continue to move in the same cycles because that is never what happened in markets. Show me one market where the price just predictively goes in the same cycle forever throughout its entire eternity. Eventually, these Bitcoin cycles are going to stop perfectly playing out like they have in the past, and I think people just need to be ready and not overanalyze old cycles and think just because something happened before, it has to happen now. With that said, I want to show you guys and get into the Ripple SEC case because, like I said, I have a massive document to show you, and what it is going to illustrate is a settlement coming between Ripple and the SEC, and they directly say it. This is not speculation. They are going to have an opportunity to settle this case. I'm going to show you when I think that's going to happen. It's important to point out, though, the reason the SEC is going to be forced to settle this case is because they are in an insane predicament right now. The SEC gave guidance on Ethereum back in 2018, and they know that the guidance they gave Ethereum would clearly deem XRP not a security. What the SEC is now trying to do is walk back on that statement and claim it never happened because they know if they gave Ethereum clarity, there is no logical reason XRP shouldn't also have the same clarity. If we take a look right here, we can see that the SEC directly says the commission moves swiftly to address these issues, including through timely enforcement actions in addition to the creation of a cyber unit. Our policy decisions issues guidance and other helpful frameworks to provide clarity to the market about securities laws implications for new technologies. See bullet 27. Well, let's take a look at what bullet 27 is, and you guys cannot believe, I cannot make this stuff up. They are saying the commission provided this clarity, and then we go over here, and it was William Hinman's speech that the commission is now trying to say was just his personal opinion. This is absolute BS and crazy that they're trying to play this off like it didn't happen. We can see very clearly the SEC used William Hinman to make a speech stating Ethereum was not a security. What the SEC is doing is now trying to pull that back because they know it destroys their case against Ripple. Their only hope is that people would just be too ignorant to realize this, but we know they are lying. The court knows they are lying, and it's a slap in the face and destroys their credibility. If we take a look right here, this is directly from the Ripple case. The SEC said there's no action that it took to say Bitcoin is not a security, Ethereum is not a security. What are we looking at on this previous slide? The SEC is directly citing its own speech where they literally said they did not see Ethereum and Bitcoin as a security. This is a blatant lie. There's no other way to look at it. The only reason they're saying this is because they didn't like the fact that this is now going to hurt them in the Ripple case. But you can't get away with that, and the judge is going to see right through it because people like me and you can see right through it. If we can see this, it is going to be obvious for the judge. So what is this new document that you guys need to see that I think is going to lay out when we can expect a settlement, because this is massive. If we take a look right here, and this is a document that's actually been out for a little bit, but I have not seen anyone even bring it up. It says, I was not even aware of that. The SEC and Ripple have a binding agreement to talk about a settlement for at least 1 hour, 2 weeks before fact discovery ends. If we take a look at where fact discovery ends, and this is an old date because it was actually pulled back, I believe we're looking at January 17th right now. So after January 17th, there's going to be a 2-week period where Ripple and the SEC have to get together and talk about a potential settlement. The reason this is massive is because I have a feeling up until then, both sides were trying to get all the evidence they could, bolster their case, make it as strong as possible, and then they would get together after fact discovery, look at what all of them had on the table, and make a settlement decision based on that. If they were already planning and had a legal obligation to meet with each other and talk about the settlement, what would be the point in talking about a settlement before all the evidence was on the table? We know it probably wouldn't happen unless things were getting really, really, really bad for a certain side, but the SEC likely knows that Ripple wants to end this case, so despite the fact that the SEC has been caught blatantly lying to the court, they likely know that until the discovery ends, they're going to meet with Ripple anyway, and therefore they might as well just wait for this date, and that way once everything is on the table, the two sides can meet, and they can figure out when a settlement's going to happen. I tweeted this in response to it, and I think this is super important to also take into account. This is likely why so many of Judge Netburn's rulings have been delayed. She likely wants to see if they can come to an agreement before she has made a bunch of hard rulings. The end of January will be extremely telling. This is where we need to be paying attention to, because we know if a settlement is going to happen, it is going to happen in these 2 weeks. All the facts are going to be on the table. Both sides have seen the arguments, and they are going to get together and try to hash these things out. If they cannot, I think the judge is going to start ruling on a lot of these issues that she's likely already made her mind up on. The reason she hasn't ruled on them yet is because she probably understands the magnitude of this case, and if the sides can just get together and figure it out, and she doesn't have to hash through it and get everyone mad or whatever, she's probably just going to be like, guys, go figure it out, make your rules, say what you want each other to do, and then we'll end the case. But if they can't, that is when she is going to come in, and I have a feeling it is not going to be favorable for the SEC. She has constantly talked to the SEC like she knew they were doing something wrong, and I think it is going to be extremely obvious to her when she sees the lies the SEC is saying, when she sees the pushback from the public sector, over 62,000 investors countersuing the SEC, and even independent law firms teaming up to sue the SEC, she is going to understand that this is not happening because Ripple is a bad company. It's going to happen because the SEC is a corrupt organization. Something else super cool I wanted to show you is that if we take a look at the charts, we can see that XRP is in an insanely large symmetrical triangle right now. If we take a look at where this case could be settled out at the end of January, we can see that it would play perfectly with XRP gradually moving back into the center of this symmetrical triangle and ultimately breaking out the top for a parabolic move. We know XRP is undervalued as long as it's below its former all-time highs. I will continue to add XRP because I understand it is a top-tier digital asset that is severely undervalued in the market. The only people who don't think XRP is undervalued do not understand its fundamentals and do not understand how massive it's going to be. The last thing I want to point out to you guys before I let you go is make sure if you want to do something to help, you go to my channel and retweet this pinned tweet. It directly exposes the SEC. This is going to put pressure on them and let them know that we are not going to lay over and let them get away with what they're doing. Guys, thank you so much for coming. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. And for now, Mickle out.